All right, all right. Welcome back to Eyes Open Media. Prophet John here. Hope you guys are doing well. Okay, so I made this post on Instagram a couple of days ago, about 4 days ago. It says here on Instagram, it says no anybody or nobody, right? Or anybody. I'm just gonna use what I had here though. Anybody that's controlled has no power. Only false deception power. Okay. Now, some of you guys are gonna quickly run and say, "Well, aren't we controlled by God?" No, we're not. No, we're not. God gives us free will. We're not controlled by God. God gives us free will, right? That's if we were all controlled by God, then we would all be angels and holy and righteous and helpful, and the world wouldn't be what it is right now if we were controlled by God. The world is a mess because God gives us free will. So, you know what I mean? But I could already tell as soon as I read that, I knew people would especially those that are really religious would go to, "Oh no, we're controlled by God, so we have no power." No, we're not controlled by God. God gives us free will. That's why any one of you guys right now could go and do whatever you want to do right now and pay the consequences in the country that you're in if you're doing wrong. But if you're doing good, then you don't have to pay no consequences, right? If you're doing wrong, you might get caught and you got to pay the consequences according to your country, right? And your laws and your cities. Every city, every state, every country has different rules and regulations, right? But you have the power to do whatever you want, right? Now, there is consequences to that, right? But anybody that's controlled has no power, only false deception power. And that is what the world shows you every single year, every single month, and every single day, and every single week. They prop up these people, especially in Hollywood and the politicians as well. They'll pop up politicians and world leaders and Hollywood stars and make you think that they have power, but they're all being controlled. So that means they have no power. They have deceiving power, where it looks like they have power because they have a millions of followers, but they can't do nothing for their people. Right? How many times have we seen that? Right? Or they'll set up charities. They all these Hollywood people have these charities, and the money goes right into executive hands. And then 5 years later, the charities are shut down. Every single time. We've seen it from every single celebrity. Oh, the first thing they do is create a charity, and then the money gets funneled into all types of sickening things, sex trafficking, and all types of stuff, and the charities get shut down. But people don't want to learn. People will just throw their money away into these charities, and which don't help nothing. How do you explain having 30,000 charities in California, but yet there's millions of people homeless on the streets? I mean, common sense is nowhere to be found in the world today. I tell you, and people still give to these charities like they're gonna help anybody or do anything. 30, almost like what is it? What we got? 30,000 charities in California. We got like 20 million homeless people in California, just sleeping everywhere, tents and stuff. Where all the money for charity going? It's like it's disappearing into private jets. So, speaking of people with no power and deceiving power, it's interesting because I wrote that knowing that Snoop Dogg was going to apologize, by the way. I think we all saw that coming because that's what they do to these African American men that think they have power. They make them apologize and they defame them and they punish them publicly like this. Now, Snoop Dogg has no power. He pretends he has power, right? He has no power to do nothing because he's controlled by Zionism. He's controlled by Zionists, right? You guys already know that. He's controlled by Viacom and all these satanic Hollywood, executives and companies. right? They pay him. I don't know how much Snoop makes a year, maybe 5 million a year. Most of that money comes from Zionists, right? Hollywood. So when he made those statements, and I think what's her name? Gayle. I think Gayle King is also connected with Viacom as well, which is, Zionist New World Order. So Gayle King is there to do a job, right? To basically go after the African Americans, go after her own people, not tell the truth, not care about research, you know. And so they probably, my opinion is that Viacom and others satanic labels out there reached out to Snoop Dogg and said, "You will apologize, or we will strip you of everything you have." Right? And so he had to go and do a forcible apology. Here he is. He's no longer Snoop. He's no longer Big Snoop Dogg, but he's Puppy Dog now. Yeah, Gayle King, right? The woman who went after Kobe Bryant with her statements and stuff with Lisa Leslie. We did a video on it already. She hasn't apologized, by the way, to the Kobe Bryant family. She sticks by, like she said, anybody who saw that interview, those interview clips would have been heartbroken and sad and stuff. But you have not apologized, Gayle, to the Kobe Bryant family. You haven't apologized. So you meant to do that. You meant to say those things. You were trying to defame Kobe Bryant. She hasn't apologized. So now people are saying, Gayle, where's your apology? Because Snoop Dogg has made his apology to you for calling you all types of names, which I also said Snoop Dogg shouldn't have said though. He didn't have to say that ending part, right? He could have kept it the way the video was. It was fine until the ending when he was saying, calling her out of her name and all the other stuff. We don't need to do all that. Now, when he said "come," we're gonna come get you, or come get her. I think he was talking about social media, where you know how his army will come get you on social media. I don't think he actually meant send Bloods and Crips after her, right, to kill her. I think he meant we're gonna come get you on social media, right? Just like the Beehive come out after people, the Barbs come after people, and the LGBT and all the other organization and groups out there come after people. PETA group, right? I think that's what Snoop meant, but I could be wrong. Now Snoop said in the second video that he's not a violent man. He has a wife and he has children and he has kids, right? And he has endorsements and contracts with Viacom and other satanic groups. So he doesn't want to lose his contracts and money, right? So and then he made another apology. I apologize to Gayle King for slamming her for Kobe Bryant comments. No, that's not why you should be apologizing. Because Gayle King was wrong for saying the things that she was saying in that interview, and she should have never brought that up, right? So, and Gayle King has not apologized for that. Instead, she sent Oprah out there to do damage control for her and cry on TV for her. Yet she has not apologized to Vanessa Bryant or the Kobe Bryant family, who should have never been even gone through that type of situation, and yet they haven't even buried Kobe Bryant yet. And yet Gayle King is talking about things from the past that are so long ago, it's ridiculous. And yet he was found not guilty. And then later on, the woman herself said she lied about it. After she received her money, I just lied about the whole thing. I wanted some quick money. Of course you did. That's why you went right into civil court right after and got 2 point something million dollars. Then they're talking about she's diagnosed with schizophrenia and mental disorders and all types of stuff. Of course, I mean anybody with common sense that's not a racist as well, because you know There's racist people out there that know she's lying, but they keep. But you know what? They stay on code. See, white people stay on code. White people will know you lying. White people will know you're deceiving, but they got something called staying on code, which African American people do not know how to do. Asians know how to stay on code. Spanish people know how to stay on code. Even Cubans know how to stay on code. African Spanish people, right? Mexicans, Russians, Middle Eastern people know how to stay. When I used to live in the Middle East, they knew how to stay on code, right? Most of the time. African Americans don't know how to stay on code. They don't know how, we do not know how to stay on code. A white person will know that woman is lying for money and they will literally support her the whole way through, even though they know they she lying. They don't care. They're gonna stay on code. And I don't blame them for that. It's a sin to lie and stuff like that. We understand that. But they staying on code. African Americans don't know how to stay on code. And African Americans apologize like nobody, like who taught you this to apologize? So oh yeah, we forgot. Yeah, we forgot when during slavery they told us to repent and to apologize, and they beat that down in us about repentance and apologizing. Now I'm all for repentance, apologizing for someone that's wrong and you calling them out. Now, of course, the ending part is what I have a problem with because there's no need for Snoop Dogg to say that ending. The what he said was right until the ending. And if he apologizes for saying the ending, then okay. But he apologizing for slamming her about Kobe Bryant's comments. No, that's not. You don't need to apologize for that. Just apologize for calling her out of her name and saying all that stupid stuff at the end. Because that's. I mean, come on, you shouldn't do that in the beginning. We need to make sure we're not talking like that. But we do need to give warnings when people are out of character and out of position and not staying on code, right? Gayle King not staying on code. Oprah Winfrey not staying on code in the African American communities. Going after African American men, but won't go after any other race sent by CBS and others and Viacom and other Zionist networks to go after the African Americans. So it won't look like racism. We know what this is. I've already called this out years ago. I knew this was coming because I knew they were changing their ways. I knew they were going to change their ways and say, instead of us doing it, let's just pay African Americans to go after African Americans. Then it won't look like racism. So Snoop Dogg is apologizing forcefully, not because he wants to apologize. He's apologizing forcefully because he doesn't control his life. Other people control his life. And when you other people control your life, you have no power. Snoop Dogg should already be in a situation where he is able to control his entire life. The man's been putting out music since the early 90s. Like, you've done literally like over 100,000 shows. Like, you sold millions of records. You've been on movies and all types of, and you still have to be controlled. It's the same thing with Oprah and Gayle King. It's like all these years later and you still have to be controlled. Like what's going on? Like how do you be in the game or an actor or an artist or in the public eye for 30, 40 years and you still have to be controlled? That's crazy. That's crazy. That is a waste of money management, power management, maybe mindset management, not being able to control your own companies and stuff. Snoop Dogg, if he had full control over his life, he would have said what he said and he would not apologize and he would have kept it moving because no one controls him. But when you're controlled, you gotta watch what you say. You gotta apologize. This is what we call having no power. He has deceptive power, deceiving power, where you see millions of people following him. Um, he talks about being in the crypts and stuff like that, and all his life he's a crypt. That means nothing when you're controlled by Viacom and other Zionist networks that are paying you millions of dollars every year to do shows and do things, I'm not even sure he might even be part of Live Nation to do tours. All that is Zionist. All that is New World Order, satanic Zionist companies preparing for for the Antichrist system. They control Snoop Dogg. You can't say what you want to say when you're controlled. He's another lesson learned for the African Americans out here, and not just for the African Americans, because Caucasians can't or that are controlled can't say that either, but they know better. Most of them do, and the ones that don't, we see them get punished as well, right? But it's nothing more like African Americans because African Americans apologize all day long. I mean, somebody will come in there and shoot up your whole church, and within 24 hours, you ain't even had the funeral or the burial, and they apologize. Oh, we forgive him. We forgive him. You can forgive people silently. You know that, right? You don't have to make them. You don't have to look weak on television. You don't have to look weak in the media. You can apologize. You can forgive and apologize people in secret. You know that, right? African Americans want you to see them apologize and forgive openly in public because we are the apologists community. For some reason, some strange reason, you only see African Americans apologize for stuff. You never see Zionists and Jews or Caucasians usually come out and apologize for stuff, or Asians or Mexicans or Spanish people. You always see African Americans on apologizing, and we forgive them all the time. That's a mindset problem right there. That's a mindset because you can do it privately. You don't have to be so open about apologizing and forgiveness. There's nothing wrong with apologizing and forgiveness, but you can do it privately. You don't have to do it openly and make yourself look like a big wuss. You went from Snoop Dogg to Little Dog, like the puppy dog, like within literally 7 days. You went from being Big Snoop Dogg, Uncle Snoop Dogg, with that can call up 1 million Crips to be by his side at any time, to puppy Snoop Dogg and forcefully apologizing. Oh man. This ain't the first. We seen Terrell Owens do it. We seen all the time. We seen Tiger Woods do it. Tiger Woods almost got killed by his wife with a golf club swung upside his head and then crashed the car, and he's the one apologizing up there because he cheated. But yeah, that was attempted murder, and she never went to jail for that or had any type of prison time or any type of scrutiny for that. Now, let's flip the script here. Let's say that Tiger Woods' wife was cheating on Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods takes the golf club and swings it upside his wife's head, and she crashes the car. Tiger Woods is doing almost life in prison right now. And no one would care that his wife was cheating on Tiger Woods. The narrative would be Tiger Woods attempted murder on his wife, and now doing 30 years in prison, has lost all his endorsements. Think about that. That's America. That's America in a nutshell. Either African American man, you're either going to apologize or we're going to flip the script on you and you're going to do 30 years in prison. I'm pretty sure that's what they told Snoop Dogg too, didn't they? Viacom called Snoop Dogg and says, Snoop Dogg, you're either gonna apologize or they're gonna sue you or put criminal charges on you for death threats. And you'd be looking up to 20 to 30 years in prison, my brother. And Snoop Dogg's like, I'm gonna apologize. I'm gonna take the embarrassment. I'm gonna take the shame. I'm gonna become puppy dog today. Cause I ain't trying to go to jail for 30, prison for 30, 40 years for death threats. And this is what they do over and over. We see it over and over. It seems like every year there's a new person. This year it's Snoop Dogg. Next year it's gonna be, somebody else. Before that was Michael Vick and other people. There's people fighting dogs right now in the South. Michael Vick had to apologize. Michael Vick wasn't even the one fighting the dogs, and he lost everything. It was done in his house, in the house that his brother, like he owned the house, and while I guess his brothers and family members were in the house, and so he probably knew about what was going on, and maybe he didn't even know what was going on. Who knows? But he probably did know what was going on. But he was on the road. He was busy. He was Michael Vick. He was a superstar, and it was the NFL season. He's not in that house. Okay. And so Michael Vick playing football and traveling around the world because he's Michael Vick and he's busy and he's never at that house. And his family members are at that house and they're fighting dogs. Michael Vick's the one that loses everything, loses all his endorsement. He's not even fighting dogs, he's playing football. But yet, because it happened on his property, he loses everything. Yet there's people right now in the South still fighting dog. Dog fighting is big down south, and not one of them are losing any type of endorsement deals or having the police come and take everything. No one's feeling sorry for the dogs in the South. They're fighting dogs every single day in the South. But this is America, and this is what we do to the African American. I mean, you will be playing football on Monday night, and then on Tuesday they say that they're fighting dogs at your house. Now you have lost everything, and then people will say, "You murderer, you evil bastard." You're like, I'm playing football. Like I don't even know what's going on at my house. Doesn't matter. You're an African American. You will be disgraced now. And so people that know that he's not that he wasn't at that house are still calling him a murderer, disgraceful, all types of names because it was his property. It doesn't matter if he was fighting the dogs or not because he's African American. Doesn't matter. We're going to call you out your name now. And not only that, we're going to take everything from you. We're going to take all your endorsement deals. And you're going to be out of the NFL as well. And now you have to go do some type of educational treatment about animals. But yet, we're still going to be fighting our dogs over across the street, Michael Vick. You see how that works? You see how America works, Michael Vick? So even all those years later, dogfighting is still going on and it's still popular down south in America. But no one cares. Colin Kaepernick, you're gonna take a knee and not bother anybody, but we're gonna strip you of being able to play for the NFL from now on. But Marshawn Lynch can sit on the bench and eat banana during the national anthem. We don't care about him though. We're just gonna target you right now because you're kind of light skinned there, and you should know better. You're mixed with white and brown and black or bronze or whatever you want to call yourself, and so you should know better. Marshawn Lynch is just a thug from the streets of Oakland, so we don't care about him. But you're a quarterback and you're mixed, so we're gonna destroy you. Even though you took a peaceful protest and Navy SEAL told you that that's what you should do, just take a peaceful protest. Don't worry about it. You should be good to go. Other people stay inside the stadium, the locker rooms. Other people put their hands on their heart and stand up. Other people sit on the bench and eat bananas. But take a peaceful knee. That's from a Navy SEAL. But we're still going to destroy your whole entire life though, and NFL career. This is America, people. Not only that, we had the soccer player, the LGBT soccer player, take knee, and no one cared. Everybody just looked the other way. We can't mess with her. She's a woman, a white woman, and an LGBT community woman. We're not gonna mess with her. If she was an African American, though, we would destroy her career. And that's America. That's what we live in. And so, knowing that that is America and that's what we live in, the African Americans need to do better. We need to understand the environment that we're in and the country that you're in. Okay, and understand that deceiving power doesn't get you anything but but having to apologize. You're not a gangster, Snoop Dogg. You work for Viacom. Like, you're controlled. That's not a gangster. A gangster does what he wants. A boss does what he wants. You're not a boss, Snoop Dogg. You work for you have a boss. Right? And so you can't say those things, or you have to apologize, or they will strip you of all your contracts and all your millions, right? So I understand why Snoop Dogg did it, because he doesn't want to lose his contracts and things like that. But at the same time, we've seen so many African Americans do this, pretending that they're free and they're bosses, but in reality they're not. They have contracts with Zionists. They have contracts with Zionists, and they must be in order, and they must stay in line, or they will be destroyed. Right? And so this is what's going on. They tried to take out Kevin Hart, remember? We prayed for Kevin Hart. Maybe that's why he's still alive. Who knows? They tried to take him out. Right? They try to take out Chris Brown. You get anybody that gets out of line, they're trying to take out. You're not these people are not free. These people are controlled puppets. And you see that every single year, you see one of them go down and will have to apologize. But yet you still think these people are big bosses and free because they have millions of followers. That's deceiving. That's a deception. That's all that is. Because when things come to it, like 50 Cent had to go to court and he had to apologize and he was crying and saying, "Oh, I don't really have the money that I say I have," and all. They break you down and you start to apologize because you're controlled. See, bosses don't move like that. Bosses don't have to apologize. Bosses don't have to do any of that stuff. They don't. You're not going to break somebody. You're not going to break Bill Gates down or Warren Buffett down and have them crying on television or in the courtroom, because they're bosses. You know what I mean? Like, they're bosses. Like, they own everything. They don't care. They're like, who you? Right? But when Snoop Dogg is owned by Viacom and has contract by Viacom and other networks, you just got to cry. You got to apologize. And there's your difference. Peace out. God bless. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Snoop, little baby Snoop now. You baby Snoop to me now. But I know why you had to do it. But look, Gayle King has not even apologized to the Kobe Bryant family. So that means Gayle King meant what she was doing. She meant to do it. Pretty interesting. Let's see if Gayle King apologizes in the coming days, to the Kobe Bryant family about what she did. But we'll see. Peace out. God bless. She probably won't, but we'll see. If she does, then we'll do a video on it. Peace out. God bless. Eyes open.